talking. Um,
Yeah.
do you know? Let me do one more path. I'm gonna be out.
No problem.
So, Cyprus. Do you know where is Cyprus?
Oh, I know of Cyprus. I recognize it on the map. Euro coins.
Yeah. So today we went. It's in the Mediterranean Sea. So beautiful. So, what is your favorite sea?
See, well, I'm from Slovakia, so it's a landlocked country, and the consensus is that the favorite sea for Slovaks is the Adriatic, because that's the closest one, because that's where most people, including my family, went to on holidays. That's where Croatia is. The Adriatic Sea is Croatia on one side, Italy on the other side. But and the closest sea actually, like by air distance, would be this one, like this, when it ends, and there's the coast of Italy at the tip of the Adriatic Sea.
Here, the water is warm. On this beach you talked about, is the water warm or cold?
Well, the sea over there, as I remember, I haven't been there in a while, but the sea is very clear, and because it's pebbles,
Yeah.
stones, and it's cold in the morning, but over time, over the day, it gets swimmable. But it's overall the fact that it's has this shape, is like a, what is it? As this sausage that goes into, in between Italy and Slovenia and Croatia. That makes it kind of warm. But I'm not an expert on seas, as I disclaimed in the beginning. I'm from a landlocked country. It's very far for me to the nearest sea. So that's
It makes sense. It's fascinating that you do comedy now in Slovakia. Is there other comedians? Because we have seen the only Slovakian comedian you.
Well, that's kind of interesting, because there's a lot of comedians in Slovakia, and the fact that I haven't met anyone online yet, that's I don't know where they at. Maybe they're doing gigs in clubs and stuff. But I'm still waiting for seeing another Slovak in place like this.
Are they like you say there are a lot of comedians? Like how many?
How many? Oh, like a number. I don't think I can give you a number, but but the comedy scene is there is here and functioning, and there are quite a few that are more known than others. But
And
I
are
don't
they
think.
making money? The comedians and the one you talk about. How many
Well,
people are
I
actually
think.
making money?
Well, this is I would have to ask them if I meet them. That's. But it's the comedy is it's different, like because there has been comedians in history and still working, that like entertainers that I know of, and over time, like in the last couple of two decades, actually couple of decades, you start noticing like this American or Western style of stand-up comedy going on, because before and still now they're like old. There's this one comedian that I like. That was my first entry to the comedy, like first school. He's called Anders Košic. Is this old guy? He's 80 something today. His name is Ander from Košice. Košice is the other big city, and he has this stage persona. He's speaking in Eastern European, Eastern Slovakian dialect, and he has all the hat, like a green head and green suit, and that's his show, and he's speaking jokes, and that has been very funny to me when I first like read it. I heard it on a cassette tape when that was in my grandma's car when we were going.
When?
It was 1997, something like that.
This guy is dead.
And this guy, I saw him this year at live show. He's 82 or something. I don't want to I don't want to misage him, but he's over 80 and he's still good doing shows, yeah, with a band or the music band.
So now he's like 90, but
no, he's 80,
so
80, 80 something now, but he was, I don't know, it was over 60 back then.
So this comedian, he only do it in Slovakian language.
Yes, in Slovakian language, specifically this Eastern Slovak dialect that he uses, because people with Eastern Slovakia would say, "Oh, that's not really the the thing," but it's like his own accent. For us from not the Eastern Slovakia, is like, "Oh, that's like a stereotypical Eastern Slovak dialect."
Oh my God! You know, I feel that's one big part of comedy is to find your accent or the way you talk, or you could be funny when you find more. For example, I will never be with accent like this Slovakian comedian because I don't even speak Slovakian. It's not mine. But when you try to master your accent, for example, for me, the Arabic accent, you come with words. I think people laugh from accent because they say that when people feel superior, they laugh. It's like if you see someone fall down, or if you see someone, you're gonna laugh. So it's like people kind of feel that you are the fool. But they say that in comedy, it's better to be the fool who is driving the ship instead of that. So it's like you are the fool in the room, but you are actually the one in control. And
yes,
it's an art. Do you have an idea, or why do you think people laugh from certain accents?
I think what do you say? What do you say about this like this aspect of superiority? I think that's and that plays a big part, obviously, and that's something. It's like an advantage that you have with your accent when speaking English, and by extension also me, because we're two guys. English is not our first language, obviously, but because I don't know how I sound to others. I only know when somebody else, like I see it from the other side, because my uncle he's German, like my mom's sister's husband is from Germany, and when he speaks Slovak and he tells jokes in Slovak, it's so hilarious. You can imagine.
Because of his accent.
Yeah, because he speaks Slovak, and with his knowledge of in his accent as a German would speak, and that makes it much funnier than like a if you said it like in a proper Slovak way. So that's what I see as a like there's a big bonus if you're foreigner, like hearing you speaking with your Arabic accent, and you have that way of saying like a melody.
Yeah.
I don't know if they told you, obviously, I think, but it reminds me of like accents in Slovakia. There's the central Slovakian accent, and the eastern one, and they speak with like a melody in the voice, like it's there's a connection. So
yeah, I 100% agree with you, and I feel that the more you do it, the more it become better, and the more it become better. I don't also think that someone has good mulidi. I mean, yes, some people have advantage with some maybe funnier mulidis or this, but it also doesn't come unless you put some hard work and like preparation to this and so did you say that you are a teacher or no?
No, no, I'm not a teacher. Yeah, no, no,
I confused.
no, it's all right. No, I haven't mentioned that.
And do you mind if I ask you what you do in the side of comedy, if that's fine with you?
Sorry, I don't think I understand the
I
question.
mean, do you mind if I ask you what you do in the side of comedy? You do
Like what is like
you have another career.
well, yeah, I have a like a day job, and I'm interested in comedy as for fun. So it's not a job for me, the comedy.
It's not a job, but because I was surprised, there are too many people who does or do comedy because they say it's fun for them. It's like it feels like therapy because it's like they come, they tell people everything. It feels good when people laugh, and they don't have any expectation. Would you put yourself in this group, or do you have also maybe some expectation that one day this might be an escape from the
Well,
day?
both it. Well, it would be. I think it would be very honest to say, of course, the expectation is there as well, because that's like that would be the dream to have to do something for fun, and also don't have to care about stuff like job and all these uh, boring stuff. So
Yes.
yeah, of course. So yeah, that would be yeah, like the fun, because I can imagine people say, oh, they're doing it for fun, but yeah, but for fun, and also yeah, I would like to do like you say, when you do when you practice and you work hard, that's you have that praxis of what you do, and that makes that you're easier if you're more at ease at what you do. Because, for example, the therapy aspect you mentioned, I think plays a big part, because I feel like just talking about stuff, talking about like what we talk about now, that gives you like a different perspective and different feeling about uh, about uh, about your whole Sunday. Yeah.
Yes. And also others, because usually also when you go to an open mic, people are trying new materials. And sometimes even if it's not funny, it's so fascinating because people are just throwing random stuff, and sometimes it's weird. But the when we talked about like doing it more and more to make it better, they say that the more you do it, the more also your heart rate lower. So, for example, if you meet a girl for the first time, your first date, your heart rate will be more than the next date. You know, the third date, and then if this woman become your wife, you know, your heart rate is not as the first date because you already know this person more and you already did it more times, and that's why you can be yourself, for example with your wife, because your heart rate is more low. And with comedy I think it's the same. The more you go to the stage, the more you become more in control and you become yourself. And I don't know why I compare it with dating, because isn't the first date of dating exciting? it's like different excitement. Like when you think about your first comedy set, it's like you were worried, you were, or I don't know. What's your experience with your first comedy set?
Yes, that's all I'm thinking about when you're talking about
Yeah.
this. But and also I have this setup that I get like if something you would call like a anxiety, or you can look at it as a like a excitement, like if as if a lot of times just doing it is like the first time, it's like the first that first date. And so I'm wondering at what time, or after how many tries that heart rate would go lower, because I'm even like talking about thinking about it, it kind of makes me it makes my heart rate go up. But since you asked the like what was my experience, that it will be, it was last year when I tried it, that I went for it, went to that I found an open mic in Bratislava that I will go to, and I will do my 3 minutes, and that would be it, with the expectation that this makes me excited, but also you have all these worries and anxieties and all this OCD and all this mental stuff that's in your head, constantly processing, and I was worried and mixed with this excitement, but trying to give myself like idea, like okay, like it will better I not have expectations, and better just have for myself a reason to say to myself that okay, so I've tried it, so I can have rest now, I can be at peace, because the idea was that I will go there, I will try that, and it will be silence for everyone, and then I can go home in peace, like that will be it. But the thing is that what surprised me, and that the fact that I did not have any expectation, that I was when I went to the stage, and I heard like when the guy said the MC said my name, and I stumbled upon the stage, and suddenly I felt at peace right there without any of this interference. So I just did my thing. I wasn't thinking about anything. I wasn't thinking about time. I wasn't noticing stuff. I was just seeing like there's a bar somewhere in the in the back, and I had a nice time. And instead of me being put off and me from all this, I was going home thinking like, wow, that went well. I cannot stop now. Like that one, when I just tried it, like I have to come next time. And
So now you do it in Slovakian comedy.
well, no, well, that was it was in Slovak the first time that I tried, because I did not know about this world that we are
No. I'm
currently
not
in.
talking about Zoom. If someone is doing comedy in Slovakia, he can only do it in the Slovakian language.
No, there are, you can do it in Slovak, and there are venues that you can do it in English as well, because there's a international community in from people from all around the world in the capital city, and people go out for open mics to sit there and also to try it, to
Nice.
have fun.
Because I see also most Slovakians speak English.
Well, yes,
All
the ones you see, they will speak English, yeah, because of course.
because they are outside of Slovakia. So
Well,
what
if you go to
percentage?
Slovakia, but even if you go, sorry to interrupt, but there are like there would be like they say, like the younger people would speak English more than older people, but also older people would also speak English. That's like in my friend was coincidentally in Cyprus in the summer, and also he said he has a nice time, and he said something like the people there would speak English, but if you have like really old people, they would not speak English that much or at all.
So I'm looking here. They say that 26% of Slovakians speaks English. I think it's more. That's what Google says.
Oh, I don't know about that figure, but
Would you say that more than half people speaks English or less?
I don't know how the Google gets this number from, because what's the question, what's the methodology, like who speaks English like every time every day, or who speaks it as a means of communication, or if they learned it. But while thinking about it, you would think like, okay, that could be more, but 26%, like, well, also makes sense, because a lot of people don't speak English. But I don't know. I'm really not aware. I haven't thought about it like this, because we are young people. Well, considering myself young, and when we go to school and we have English as the foreign language, and also we would have other options. We also had German, but just being at school, you would have the idea like everyone would speak English or German as well. And then, so when being confronted with this number, or being just talking with your grandparents, that will make sense. Oh yeah, like, because your grandparents would not speak English. Yeah, of course. And then
So German is famous in Slovakia. There are too many people speaks German too.
well, it's among the options for another language. The English would be the first. I don't have the exact numbers, but I think the German would be like the second, because a lot of people also, because it's would learn that, and Germany is not that far, and there's German companies in Slovakia and in Central Europe, so a lot of people would learn it as well as German. Also, like I had it at school, and I can ask for a coffee, or I can ask for a burger at a fast food place. So that's but that's better than nothing.
So we would say that Slovakian is number one, English number two, German number three.
Well, Slovakian is as the native language. I would not put it in the, but yeah, but most people speak Slovak.
So you
because
said
Slovak.
There are German companies in Slovakia. Are they there to avoid the tax or like to pay less Slovakian labor? Or why do you think they are in Slovakia?
Well, it's well, when we're at this topic, that's this kind of economic stuff. That would, I think that's this trend. You know, when you go east from Germany, that the cost of labor is much lower than in Germany, and it's even lower the more eastern you go, and then Slovakia is like in the really the center of Europe, and so it's for those. I don't know, I can speak for them. I don't know what those companies would be thinking, but the guess would be that they have people here would work as Germans, but they will be much more cheaper than Germans. And Slovakia is there's a highway going there to Slovakia, and there's euros, so it's not really that different. You know, this in this infrastructure sense, but yeah, it would be cheaper for them to make those. What do they do? No, lots of car companies are here. So what in Slovakia is the highest number of cars produced per population per capita. I have somebody said that, there's like one of those figures, because there's big car makers in Slovakia.
So it's obviously for companies good to move to make cars in Slovakia. The rent is cheaper, maybe the electricity is cheaper, and all this. How about for people? If someone, or is there people from outside Slovakia living in Slovakia for any advantage? Is there any advantage?
As I mentioned, my uncle, who is from Germany, he's living in Slovakia.
Okay.
Because he's initially he was also in a German company that was here, and he found a lovely wife here, my mom's sister. So that's a nice reason to stay in Slovakia.
Okay, so the advantage in Slovakia is you get beautiful Slovakian girl.
Yeah, that's why I'm in Slovakia as well.
Is there any other advantage? For example, like is there people in Slovakia because they want to save some tax, or is there people in Europe in Slovakia because they retire and they live in Slovakia? It's cheaper. Is there any advantage why someone would live in Slovakia? If someone told you, I would love to move to Slovakia, tell me any advantage, anything to bring me in.
The beer is very cheap.
The what?
Beer.
So
yeah, when you were asking,
how about the weather? Is there advantage? The weather, the view, the
yes, the view, the nature, the weather. I have to, because it's dark outside, so I can't see. It doesn't strike me as such now, but I would say a lot of people go here to see the nature, for the tourism, the mountains. There are the Carpathian Mountains, and the highest part of it, the High Tatras. That's the most famous national park. It's like our version of the Grand Canyon. People from Poland and Czech Republic and Hungary, and neighbors, and they go there to ski, to hike. So the nature is very nice. It's very green. It's very like a Middle Earth style, like in those movies. And the weather is mild, but it's like a continental weather. So we have the 4 seasons, and the summer would be very hot, and this summer it gets hotter every year, and the winter would be not too cold, but still cold enough, and you would get snow in the mountains, or snow in the hilly part. I haven't seen snow that much, because that's because of geography. It doesn't snow much here in where I'm at, but you go into the hills and just a few kilometers, and they would have
But is there, because I have a friend in Slovakia, it snows next to his house. So now there's some places in Slovakia where it snows and some places no.
Well, but Slovakia is very small, and it depends very much on the how high the altitude is, because here where I'm at, we're in like a valley of the big river.
How many cities in Slovakia?
Cities, like, how would you define a city? Like a big city would be, like, the capital would be, there's Bratislava. There's like 500,000 people. Then there's this eastern capital, like the eastern big city, the Košice. That's where the comedian is from, that I mentioned.
How many people?
That's like 300,000. So you get from 500,000 to 300,000.
And the rest, how many?
And the next biggest, the third one would be Banská Bystrica, and if I look at Wikipedia, I would have a better figure, but it's like 200,000. But that's like a town, but there's a lot of like suburbs. There are a lot of these panel house estates, and that kind of makes it like a population-wise a big city. And then it goes down. But it would be interesting also for me to look at like what are the top, like from top the most
But
popular
how many
cities
people in total in Slovakia?
in total. Oh yeah, in totals. Oh, so that was the question. I went over the
No, no,
cities.
it's so good. The explanation was very useful.
Thanks. In total, it's 5.5 million.
Wow, that's a big number. I mean, like, it's. I mean, if you want to compare it to China, it's obviously small. But where I live, there are only 1 million, the whole population. Cyprus.
Cyprus. That's
Yeah.
that sounds more. You would expect more people. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, population-wise, compared to China, that will be like a small city in China. But Slovakia is it's got a bit more than Norway, but it's smaller in population than all our neighbors. So we have 5 of them.
So, do you think it's good to have more Slovakians? You think people should have more kids? What's better for the country and the Slovakians? To increase the population or decrease it?
That's a hard question. Like
No,
why
I mean just it's there is no right or
like
wrong answer. I just want to
yeah.
just what you think. No,
Yeah,
no.
what the people think, like what they like, I'm it's not like well, how many people should a country have? I don't really it's not really the question that somebody asked, but if somebody wants to have kids, like sure, it's up to him, and if somebody does not, sure, like it depends if there's because the number is you I don't see those numbers much, but they say like it's not like rising a lot or not like, and that makes you think, oh, like it's because it's more, you would like to see the number go up, when it's anything, like, oh, if it goes up, it sounds it sounds better. But yeah,
There are
whether
two
should
theories I want to tell you about them. So there are people who says we need to have less humans because humans are destroying Earth. Like we caused with the factories and the smoke that we cause to the planet. Because when there is more humans, you need to use more plastic, more. You know what I'm talking about. That
well,
humans are usually
I
destroying.
heard this.
And
I
some
heard this
other
point.
so some people they are like we don't need to bring more humans, and some other people thinks or think that we should have more kids to save the human species, and actually that maybe we can even go to Mars. So are you with the idea that the human species should like keep increasing and save it? Or do you think we are or you think we are like bacteria and we are like because there is no argument about it for sure. Humans, we destroy Earth with factories, with smoking, with cars. So what do you think? Just tell me what you think.
Well, those two options, though they sound too like those like this polarity of those, like two extreme ones, like but like the people like, but the thing that we are people are destroying stuff a lot, like how like what people, because there's always in the news that a lot of, I don't watch the news that much, but like there's so much rubbish in the sea, you know, so much garbage. But I'm from Slovakia, and I told you how far is go to the nearest sea. Like who's throwing all that, all those unused groceries to the sea? Like I don't think the question or like the point is there that like people are, you know, destroying it. There should be less. Let's talk about reduce the number of, I don't know, the stuff that you throw on the in the lawn or on the sidewalk, and like to decrease, to talk about the decreasing the population. That sounds rather too extreme, as if the planet was unable to, you know, to accommodate for a lot of people, you know, to have for all of them to have a good time. So I would kind of diplomatically, those two options that you gave, like they sound like, yeah, like you would look for some other way that does not go for let's increase the thing or let's decrease the thing. I don't think that's the like that's the metric that we should go for, like, because the idea would be like you would hope that people would just have a, as in have a nice while when they're on this planet.
I like your answer. You say we should have kids and we should find better options or healthier options. There is no better answer than your answer. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Thank
And
you.
so you have a son.
Yes.
How do you feel? How do you feel being a father? Like, do you also want to have more kids? Does it give you motivation? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I have a friends. They are couple. They are together, and the sister of the girlfriend. She came to visit. She is young. She is like 12. She is with them for 1 week and a half, and they are like, this is crazy. Just this experience of having a young child with us make us don't want to have kids at all, because it's like you need so much patience to grow a human, like the hormones, the brain, and all this. It's so hard. Do you find pleasure and fun with this? Do you feel like you want to even go through this again with another kid because you find fun with it and joy? Or how do you feel?
Well, this is the thing, because I can you can have a view, like I could have a view of not how is it to not have a kid, and now how it is to have a kid. So I can have that perspective.
Yeah.
And also that's something that's I heard people that had kids telling me how, you know, how is it with kids, and I will always found it like why am I, it's like being patronized by, like, oh, you're gonna like this, something that I don't like. And now when you have a kid, and there will be people who are now more experienced than you because they had more kids, and so you're still like the kid to them, so they can tell you how it is. So it's this, I always find it like fascinating, you know, the views that people have on kids and on not having kids. But that was the question was, you know, I talk too much. I talk too
No,
much.
no, no problem. The question is, you had a kid.
Like,
Did you love this experience? Do you wish to go through this experience again? Or it's like when you try food. If you like the food, you wanna go again and try it. It was fun. But if you try, I'm not saying that you don't like your son. I'm just saying about the experience. Some people, they are like, I don't want to go through this experience. One is enough. it wasn't fun experience. We love our kid, but it wasn't fun experience. How is it for you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's I think I'm saying it well, like I'm repeating myself a lot because like the thing that it's very individual because like people would because also I would hear people they would say like they have one and that's enough and they just want to they just that's all. You hear people like that and then you hear also people who have a kid and they're planning on having six like they but as for me not to, why would I speak for any other else anyone like yeah it's for me it's like when you say like the pleasure of it and the joy that brings and the smiles and everything that I just was with him and I told him it's 1 year and a half and I was explaining to him that I'm going to have a chat and I will be back when he will be asleep and like he like it's not like when people say oh like he's acting like he understands but it's not like that he really know that he understands when you tell him things and the way he responds like he gets it and I wave with him like oh yeah have a good night and I'm looking forward to him it brings me it's something I cannot put into words that much and I'm not very good in words in speaking that's why I'm practicing all the time because I haven't spoken English in a while so I'm very grateful for the opportunity
No.
to speak English. Well, sometimes we speak with my wife just for fun we speak English as well but yes, talking about my son, this is the thing, the circumstantial speech that is like you're on Wikipedia and the way I'm thinking and the way I'm talking. I found something that some link and then I like click on it, then it goes somewhere and then I'm starting at one topic and then I'll end at the top 10 biggest cities in Slovakia. So this is how I talk. So I don't remember where I started off. But yeah, it's the short answer would be yeah, sure. That's if something brings you joy, and you would want to have more of it. It's like.
But you mentioned the good side about having kid that you play with the kid. What's the bad sides or the horrible sides? Like, does it bother you at night? Your sleeping schedule is bad. How is your sleeping
Well,
schedule since you have a kid?
well, it's altered. Yeah, it's changed. But I would not call say like a bad or horrible. It's just like well, it's a part of it. It's a life, and it's like if it's just because something makes you changes your schedule. Uh, I would welcome it as another opportunity to look at it another way because now I sleep. It's not like I would sleep. I would go to bed later, maybe maybe a little earlier. It's just I sleep less because I get up sooner, and the fact that I get up sooner, I have like a longer day, and like think, oh, there's more to this day. I didn't know that the day has so much hours that as well. But yeah, I sleep differently.
Do you
Sleep
look to
less.
the positive side, actually? Do you always navigate your life like this? Like whenever you have because I like the way you say that if you wake up early because you have your kid, some people might complain and be like, shit, I wish I can sleep. Why did I ever have a kid? But some people would go out and be like, wow, the day now we have more hours. It's a nice mentality and execution.
Uh,
Do you do this with everything? And are you like a happy person?
Well, but this is I think. when talking about it, this is this is the time that I'm realizing this stuff. This is like a learning experience for me. Like, yeah, that's something that I had in my mind, and when I just being this thing gets mentioned, it's like, oh yeah, let's, because of course I would be I would sleep less, and even that, like when it's like, yeah, you would like to sleep more, but it gives me the opportunity, like, okay, so that means I can go when he goes to sleep during the day, and I will go sleep as well. So I have an opportunity to sleep, or I have an excuse to drink more coffee than I used before. So it's always like some you was like you would find some equilibrium in all situation. Like if some kind of discomfort comes into it, it will just adjust to it. But I don't think because some people would say, like if I'm thinking positively or I'm thinking negatively, it's just, I don't know, it's a matter of perspective. Like, because I consider myself being positive and trying, and not trying, but like they automatically thinking about things that, you know, how good they are, as which is as in a response to, like, to the natural, this OCD style of thinking, like, you know, always looking for trouble for everything. Like, even if you're, that's like the mental talk discussion, that like even if you think that things are going well, there's this processor going in your head thinking like, oh, but you're looking for trouble and looking for like what is not good. So it's like me thinking positively, let's call it positively, is like very much like this practice also I have, you know, which counteracts the natural thinking of looking at things
Sorry,
more.
what's the practice that you are talking about?
Well, that's what we'll talk about now, like the natural.
That you make it a lifestyle. You make it a lifestyle, and you find whole in everything.
You like it is like when you're it's like with when your mind tries gets you into negative thoughts, then then you practice going the positive way.
So you try to convince yourself. If your mind is telling you like, oh, today is like I wake up early before my son, you talk to your mind and you say to your mind, no, actually it's a good day. And so you mean that you always have to practice like this, and you master it, and you always can convince your mind.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. If you sum it up like that, because that's I would sometimes I have to I have to think more before I talk, because the words come sooner, and then like what am I saying? Yeah. Yeah, like when I say the practice as in not like it's not something like I'm going to practice now. It's like the way that you have that I've dealt with this. You've had your mind since you were born, so you kind of know how it works, and how you know the things that are not not fine-tuned, or are going you are making you think, like just bringing you down, like you would get up in the morning and you see it's raining, and you would think like, oh, this is like this is a bad day, how unlucky I am. And you would find people, and I think this is very helpful for you if you think like this. Like you find people who are like that, who wake up and they try to their practice would be to convince themselves they're miserable, and like that's so you can
I want to give example about this. There were two salespersons, and that day it was raining. One salesperson says, "It's raining. I'm not gonna go and knock people houses under the rain." But the other salesperson, he say, "Oh, it's a good day. It's raining. Everyone at home, so I can go and talk to everyone." So and I think also like um, when people have some big trouble, like their mom died or their loved one break up with them, I think it depends on their lifestyle. If they're having a healthy lifestyle, as you talked about, like finding the positive side, they are always giving themselves good self-talk, always finding the positive side, it's easier to recover. Okay, I broke up with my boyfriend because maybe now it's better to me. Maybe I can focus on, you find advantage. It's a lifestyle. And as you said, it's a practice. It cannot happen in one day. You cannot be negative with everything during the day, with every small thing. And then when you have something big like breakup or you lost loved one, it depends about the small decisions you make and how positive you are. So I just admire the way you
Oh,
do it
well,
this way.
you sum it up you sum it up nicely with that parallel, with the salesman, because you have, when you meet this kind of salesman in real life, people thinking like this and thinking the other way, that uh, for me is like it makes me realize like, oh, that's how it looks, that if you're just convincing yourself to be like to that inconvenience that happens to you, because it doesn't have to be like big trouble. People could like some of the small things, like, oh yeah, the weather is not as good as I wished, because on the forecast they said it would be sunny and now it's rained a bit, and now my day is ruined. So people because since it's because you experience this, and you like this, that reminded me of about on a train, when you go and people goes on a telephone, and as the train goes, there are some areas that you don't get signal, and and he was working, and he gets no signal, and he gets very angry, like, oh, and he gonna throw it, like, what's going on, like, like you it's like I don't want to say that people choose to be angry, because it's like that's like their lifestyle, yeah, because they've practiced and they've had this they taught themselves to respond such way
Yeah,
to inconvenience, or to the small things or the big things, and then when you meet people that really have terrible things that are happening in their lives, they tend to be much more positive about stuff,
yeah,
because like why would I be worried that like this handle on my suitcase got torn at the airport? Because you would have that, you would have a person going on a trip somewhere, and if then they discover that the handle on the thing is broken, oh, my trip is ruined, and this is all I'm gonna remember about this. So you can have this kind of mentality about it.
even sometimes you don't find holes, but you are like, at least sometimes you have something that really ruin your mood, but at least you start to remind yourself about the good things. At least I'm still healthy. So it's, as you said, you just try to uh, do this. I actually try to keep my podcast within 1 hour. So because I do them often, and if I do them for like many hours, we're not gonna pay rent.
Yeah, sure, like
But honestly, I had so much fun having you, and I already liked you in the Zooms, and even after I have this podcast with you, I liked you more. So I just want to thank you so much for being who you are and just accepting being here. Thank you so much.
And my pleasure as well. I've had a lot of fun talking to you in this podcast and outside of it. You know, that's it's very nice to meet you online like this.
Yeah,
It's
hopefully
been,
also in real life one day, you never know.
yeah,
But
of course, that's it's not that far.
you never know.
This is just 1 hour time zone difference. So and we're still in Europe now. So yeah, it's this is the thing as not to elongate the
No, it's okay.
your time, but like the seeing the nice things in it, like, and makes you feel grateful, like the feeling of gratefulness, or is it grace? I don't know. English is not my first language, but you know, it's something that's also like fulfilling, like big like, oh, this, like being grateful for a nice time that's been wisely spent on a Sunday night, you know. And I still with
Oh,
a with a with a with a fun chat.
oh, thank you. And
That's nice.
I wish you will get your son awake if he's still awake. Otherwise, hopefully
No,
you
he will be.
tomorrow.
It's all right. I suspect that like he would be asleep, like with the mom, but if it's in any way, yeah, I'll be happy to see him, whether to see him asleep or just to greet me. Yeah.
Okay, thank
That's
you. And I wish him also to be healthy and you and
Thank you very much.
all.
I'll tell him. I'll resend the best wishes to him.
Okay.
And I wish you all the best to you. This is
Thank you so much.
it has been great. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.